My name is Shruti Nayak. I am first year B.Ed student teacher studying at KLE's College of Education, Ankola. Today let us see about the fundamental unit of life. Now let us study about the concept of cell and who discovered it. The main difference between the living things and dead matter is that the living things, it is composed of cell. Hence, it is the basic unit of life. The concept of cell, it was given by the scientist Robert Hooke in 1665. What he did was, he took a thin slice of cork. Cork is nothing but the substance which comes from the bark of the tree. Then he examined it under his own constructed microscope. There he found a honeycomb-like structure which consists of many compartments, and hence he named it as a cell. In Latin word, cell means a little room. Now let us see the structure of living organisms, that is about the plant cell. To study about the plant cell, we have to conduct an experiment. That is, we have to take the transparent layer of the onion known as onion peel and place it on the glass slide. We have to add a few drops of saffron in and wait for few seconds. Then we have to cover it with a cover slip. Then we have to place it under the microscope and observe. After observing, we get to know the structure of the plant cell, which is shown on the slide. The plant cell, it consists of the outer layer known as cell membrane or the plasma membrane and a dot-like structure known as nucleus, and the cell, it consists of fluids known as cytoplasm. Unlike plant cell, there are numerous number of cells in the human body as well, such as blood cells. That is, our blood cells, it consists of numerous number of cells. Next is bone cells, muscle cells. These cells are helpful in the contraction and relaxation of the muscles. Neuron cell, this cell is responsible for the transfer of messages to other parts of the body. Fat cells, ovum and sperm. Ovum and sperm, these are the reproductive cells of male and female. Depending upon the number of cells, the organisms, they are classified into two types. First one is unicellular organism and multicellular organism. The name itself suggests that unicellular means single-celled organism, and its functions is performed by a single cell and its lifespan is short. For example, amoeba, bacteria, paramecium, etc. While as multicellular organism, it means that large number of cells are present and they perform different function and its lifespan is long. For example, human, trees, animals, etc. As we know that the cell has its own basic functions such as exchange of gases, digestion, absorption, etc. But the cell, it consists of three main components, that is cell membrane, or even it is called as plasma membrane, nucleus and cytoplasm. Let us study in detail about this. Cell membrane, or even it is called as plasma membrane or plasma lemma. This cell membrane, it forms the boundary of each cell which separates the cytoplasm from the surroundings. Cytoplasm is nothing but the fluid part of the cell. Cell membrane, it is present in both plant cell as well as in animal cell, and it is made up of proteins and lipids. As it is selectively permeable in nature, it allows the movement of some materials in and out of the cell. And cell membrane is flexible and can be folded, broken as well as reunited. We know that the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, it is selectively permeable. Hence, it is the spontaneous movement of substance from higher concentration region to lower concentration region is called as diffusion. For example, oxygen and carbon dioxide, they can move across the cell membrane. Similarly, the movement of water molecules from higher concentration region to low concentration region through plasma membrane is called as osmosis. It is also known as diffusion of solvent. Now let us see what happens to the cell when we put it in water solution of sugar or salt. Let us take the salt solution and add the cell in it. What happens is that the concentration of the solution outside the cell will be less than inside the cell. As a result, the cell loses water and it shrinks. Such solution is known as hypertonic solution. The next solution is isotonic solution. In this, the equal concentration will be outside as well as inside the cell. Due to this, the cell gains equal amount of water which was lost in the hypertonic solution. The next solution is hypotonic solution. In this, the concentration of the solution outside the cell will be more than inside the cell. As a result, the cell it gains water, swells up and may burst. Types of solution can be better understood with this diagram by taking an example of raisins, which is also called as kishmish. Add this raisin in the hypertonic solution. What happens is that the concentration of the solution will be less than compared to the raisin. Hence, the cell or the raisin it loses water and it shrinks. In isotonic solution, the concentration of the solution as well as the raisin both will be in a balanced form. Hence, it does not lose any water or shrink. And in hypotonic solution, the concentration will be more than the raisin. As a result, the raisin it absorbs water, it swells and may burst. Now let us see about the cell wall. Cell wall it is the outermost covering of the plant cell and it is absent in animal cell. Cell wall it is rigid, strong, porous. Porous in a sense there will be some small holes and it is a non-living structure. Cell wall it is made up of celluloses and this cell wall they are of two cells joined by a layer called as lamellae. Now let us see about the functions of cell wall. Cell wall it provides definite shape to the cell and it also provides strength to the cell. Because it is a permeable, it allows the movement of substance of different sizes and it is made up of cellulose. The next main component of the cell is nucleus. Nucleus is also called as headquarter of the cell because it directs and controls the cellular activities. In eukaryotic cell, a well-defined nucleus is present, while as in prokaryotic cell, a well-defined nucleus is absent. It has a double layered covering called as nuclear membrane. And this nuclear membrane, it has pores which regulates the movement of materials in and out of the nucleus. Inside the nuclear membrane, it contains nucleolus, chromosomes and chromatin material. Chromatin material, it consists of DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and proteins. The chromosomes, it contains information of inheritance of features from parents to next generation. Depending upon the presence or absence of nuclear membrane, the cells are classified into two types, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell means the nuclear region will not be surrounded by a nuclear membrane. That is, nuclear membrane is absent in prokaryotic cell and it will be very minute in size and it contains only single chromosome. For example, bacteria. While as in eukaryotic cell, the nucleus it will be surrounded by a nuclear membrane and it will be large in size as well as it contains more than one chromosomes. For example, amoeba, human, animals, plants, etc. The next main component of the cell is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm it is nothing but the liquid part of the cell in which the other cell organelles are present. Cell organelles are nothing but the internal organs of the cell which are responsible for carrying out some specific functions in order to keep the cell alive. And cytosol means the aqueous component, that is the liquid component of the cytoplasm. Now let us see in details about the cell organelles. Cell organelles are nothing but the living part of the cells which have definite shape, structure and function bounded by a plasma membrane, that is, it is bounded by a cell membrane. The cell organelles are endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, plastids and vacuoles. This is the picture of plant cell consisting of cell organelles and some cell components. The main difference of plant cell and animal cell is the plant cell, it consists of the outer covering called as cell wall. This is the pictorial representation of the animal cell consisting of cell organelles, and here the cell wall is absent. Let us study about the cell organelles in details. That is, first one is endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum means it is the network of membrane which is present in the cytoplasm, and they are the key features of only eukaryotic cells. Depending upon the presence and absence of ribosome, endoplasmic reticulum, it is of two types, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it is made up of tubules. We can see in the picture a pipe like structure, that is known as tubules, and it helps in the manufacturing of fat molecules, lipids and steroids, and the ribosomes are absent in this, hence they are called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it is made up of vesicles, that is we can see a plate like structure in the diagram, so that is vesicle, and it helps in the manufacturing of proteins. And on this rough endoplasmic reticulum, a dot like structure can be seen, that is ribosomes. So the ribosomes are present in rough endoplasmic reticulum, hence it is known as rough endoplasmic reticulum. Functions of endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum helps in transporting of material between the cytoplasm, that is the fluid part of the cell, and nucleus. It also provides space for the biochemical activities. Biochemical activities means the oxidation and reduction, enzyme catalyst reaction which takes place in a body is known as biochemical activities. It also helps in the synthesis of fats, steroids, cholesterol, etc. It also helps in the detoxification of poisonous products. There is a process known as membrane biogenesis, which means that some of the proteins and lipids, they help in building cell membrane, and such process is known as membrane biogenesis. Second one is Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus means it is a system of tubules and membrane bound vesicles which will be arranged parallel to each other in stacks known as cisternes. Its functions are: the lipids and proteins which will be synthesized by the endoplasmic reticulum, they will get packed at Golgi complex. Then they transport the materials inside and outside the cell wherever it is necessary. It also helps in the formation of middle lamellae. This is the diagram of endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus which will be present inside the cell. Third cell organelle is lysosomes. These lysosomes, they are tiny granules like structure which consist of digestive enzymes, and they are bound by a single membrane. Let us see its functions. The main functions of lysosomes is digestion. That is, whenever any foreign material such as virus or bacteria, when they enter into our body, what does this lysosome do is that they kill them by releasing digestive enzymes. So they act as a kind of waste disposal. Sometimes these lysosomes, they burst up. Hence what happens when the lysosomes get bursted, the digestive enzymes will get released. When the digestive enzymes are released, they attack they cause threat to the cell membrane and cell wall, thus rupturing the cell. Hence it is also known as suicide bag of the cell. The fourth cell organelle is mitochondria. Mitochondria is a rod-shaped structure which is present in the cytoplasm. It is only present in eukaryotic cells. This mitochondria, it has a double membrane. The outside or the outer membrane has specific proteins, while as the inner membrane, it is folded inside to form a chamber called as cristae. Mitochondria is also called as powerhouse of the cell or storage battery because it produces and stores the energy in the form of ATP. Its main function is also to produce and store the energy in the form of ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate, and it has its own DNA and ribosomes. The fifth cell organelle is plastids. Plastids, they are present only in plant cell and it has its own DNA. Depending upon the color, the plastids, they are classified into three types: leucoplast, chromoplast and chloroplast. Leucoplast means it is white in color, which is usually found in the underground parts. Chromoplast, it will be red or brown in color, and chloroplast, which is green in color, and it is usually found on the aerial parts. In this, we can clearly understand the types of plastids. That is chromoplast, which synthesizes red or brown pigment and it is useful in storage, while as chloroplast, which is green in color, helpful in photosynthesis and lipid synthesis, and leucoplast, which is white in color, usually found in the underground. They synthesize fatty acids and amino acids. The sixth cell organelle is vacuoles. Vacuoles, they are a membrane bounded region which are present in the cytoplasm, and they contain water, amino acid, sugar, various organic acid as well as some proteins. In plant cells, the vacuoles will be large, and in animal cells the vacuoles, they are small. And in single cells such as amoeba, the vacuoles, they contain the food items. So its functions are storage of materials, and it plays an important role in expelling excess of water, that is removing excess of water. While studying about the cell organelles, we were going through one term known as ribosomes. So let us see what is this ribosomes. Ribosomes, they are the minute particles which consist of RNA, that is ribonucleic acid, and they are the main site for the protein synthesis. Means in ribosome the protein synthesis takes place, and it also transports protein to the endoplasmic reticulum.